Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts, and this is your daily energy stroke tarot reading. Take what resonates, it is general, and leave what does not. I appreciate all of the comments, all of the likes, shares, and subscribes. They really do help me out, and I appreciate everything that everybody does regarding that, including these donations that keep coming in. And I never asked for those, they just come, and I appreciate them so very much. I can't say what it does to me. It's a lesson that I've got to learn to receive. I can give really easily, too easily in a lot of cases. I can give of myself till I'm all drained out sometimes, and it takes a lot actually for me to be in what should be a really comfortable place, a really serene place of being gifted something. It takes a hell of a lot for me to be able to do that, and that's certain indoctrinations that I've had, certain things I feel I came in here in this lifetime that I came in with, whatever caused that. But it's definitely a thing and a challenge that I'm met with on in this lifetime, and it's something that all of you, whether it's liking this, sharing this, or helping me just build this in whatever way, shape or form, just out of love, just out of appreciation, that is something that is part of my gift in this whole journey that we're all doing here together with this channel and everything else that's coming. But it's also part of my growth, and so I couldn't think of better people to have challenge me in the nicest possible, most loving way. So I appreciate that more than I can say. Absolutely. As she shuffles uncomfortably in a chair, it's a real thing with me. So this is the reading for the 25th of February 2021. Again, take what resonates, leave what does not, and please leave a comment, because I love hearing how you're all meeting the days and how you're getting along. So we've got on the bottom of, where's the other deck? Oh, there. So we've got on the bottom of the deck, we have the Moon card. So this speaks of, get that in, goodness me, light. So we've got the Moon card. So this speaks of intuition, psychic dreams, a lot of spiritual manifestations, a lot of things happening in the unseen realms in your lives individually and from the collective stage. There's a lot of things going on that is unseen but tangible. You can feel it happening. You can feel things are brewing. You can feel these understandings, these downloads coming in, or you can feel that you're on the point of something big to grasp onto, to knowing that you've been thinking about or meditating on for quite some time. Spend time in water. If you can, spend time under the moon for sure today. I feel that it would be a great recharge and a great tool to help you go into the dream realm with this moon charge, with this moon shine, so to speak, to take you to the places that you need to go into your subconscious to figure out some stuff, to get some knowings, to even just have an exciting time in that very psychically alive sleep space in the subconscious, where you can swim in the unseen, in the unknown, and know it better. It also speaks of lies. It also speaks of things, the dark side of the moon, so to speak. It also speaks of manipulations and controls, deceit. And so be aware of that also. This mainly coming from the collective stage, but in a great way, the infiltration on all aspects of life. I can't tell you the way it feels psychically for me, especially because I'm connected to it, this spiritual community infiltration regarding You know, it's the modus operandi. They hijack something good, anything, and they'll let things progress, they'll let things grow, they'll let certain sections of the community of society grow until they realize that, okay, that's not profitable for us anymore, that's not appreciated anymore, you're growing a bit too much, you're getting a bit too strong, and it's infiltrated. And even if it's not from the so-called powers that be, there are people, there are different types of beings in our society that love to shake up the good, that love to shake up the strong, to weaken it, to get that energy feedback. In the spiritual community, there is a lot of deceit going on, and some of it is in the under the shadow of light, and it's actually, even if it's coming from a space of not knowing, it's damaging to the strength of this part of society. And so there's that to be aware of for sure. Take everything with your discernment and discern what it means to you and you only. And you know your truth, basically, especially today. Now, as far as goings on from the collective stage, from the so-called powers that be, there is huge leaps and bounds being made today and most days in the realm of the subconscious, in the realm of detaching a being from the soul. I really feel this, I can sense this, and I know the truth will come out. But they're conditioning people to be okay with that, believe it or not. So look out for that, see that where you see that, and let me know, leave a comment. It also speaks to me of this, the frequency that they're really using and the deceit that they are creating around that, the distraction that they're trying to distract everybody from what they're really getting up to, and what they're really in what has been a very peaceful time for them to get on with shit, getting on with shit and progressing in the technology that would aid them. There's a real key to using live human bodies, I feel, to enter into realms that are closed off to some beings that are here, or for those to have a certain portal through human body, through the frequency that comes through the human organs, the orchestra of the human body. I'm not scientific enough to put that together, but I can see it, I can envision it, I can see the music that each organ plays, and knowing that they're tuning in with that, they're using that. It is like an old radio, they're tuning in. And so there's progression there. So remember this video when that knowing comes out, or you might think, I know what she's talking about, this correlates with this. That's happening, that's going to be happening. And so on the bottom of the other deck, we have got the 7 of coins, but it's in reverse. This is the challenge of the day-to-day that many people are facing, in that what we've worked hard to build up in a lot of cases, business-wise in particular, has been turned upside on its head. It's been, it's you know, and it's devastating. It's devastating. It angers me. It is so unfair. And I begged people to be brave enough to stay open en masse. It was the en masse that we needed to be able to defeat this, because there's a lot of people looking at what they've built up pentacle-wise and worked so hard to build up. You know, it's difficult running your own business. It's difficult holding down a job and all of the other things in life. But a lot of people love their jobs, and a lot of people love their businesses. I love what I do. I love doing personal readings for people. I love doing this. I love meeting people that are, you know, so invigorating to me. You know, all of the people over in Wayne's chat, all of the people over in Doc's channel, all of the people that I'm meeting through this is invigorating and beautiful to me. But the behind the scenes, you know, a single mother worked damn hard to make it work, especially during these times. And it feels like there's a lot of people feeling that disappointment and pressure today of what has been. You followed the rules, you worked hard, you did what you were indoctrinated to do. You know, you went to school, you got your qualifications maybe, or you left school and just work, never stopped. And you realize that the protection isn't there. It's been a lie. It's been done all over a lie. And so this is devastating, and I understand this. And this is an energy that we must work our way through. And this is an energy that we must find our strength in that when everything is turned upside down, there are new things to see. When you overturn rocks, there's new things underneath that rock. There's new life. You know, you go rocking on the seaside, you turn up the rocks, and there's new life under there that you didn't know was there before. And so for a lot of you, there are hidden opportunities in this flip. I'd like you to really look at what your business model was or what your job was, and really figure out ways to use this situation and this time that we're in, which there's no shame in that game. We've got to do it to create a sustainable income for you and whoever is dependent on you even. But I understand this. I understand this pressure, and I understand this disappointment. It's not to be, you know, laughed off. It's not fair, and it's unnecessary. The only reason it is necessary is the necessity of the so-called powers that be, and the very serious underhand plans in that deceit of the moon card that they have. One, to control more, have more power, and two, to open these doors and portals and, you know, exterminate a lot of people. And so this is where we are at with this, and it's so disappointing that this was never necessary for the masses. This was never a necessary thing. This is all to serve this built-up matrix that has been built up, made and controlled by a very, very few. So I understand where you're at with that. The Two of Wands comes out for the first card. It's in reverse. And so this is where usually in the upright, you see there's this man with holding the whole world in his hands, and the Two of Wands obviously represented in the two tree trunks. With it being in reverse, your world's turned upside down. The world has, even if it hasn't for you personally, turned upside down. Everything we were taught, the ways and means that we were made to live, the laws that we were told were there to protect, everything's been turned in on itself and turned upside down, and that's a weird feeling. The ceiling is now the floor, so to speak, and vice versa, and it turns you upside down. It has this effect on everything, and so there's this feeling here that there's this discomfort, because it's this pain that you're feeling of what you've worked hard to build up being turned upside down, having opportunities in your grasp with the world in your hands, but not being able to quite latch on to that because you're in this feeling of the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. The Ten of Cups comes out, but that's in reverse also. So where the Ten of Cups would be, to clarify this, pure bliss, pure alignment, happy family. This is where families are being torn apart by this. And yes, that doesn't resonate with everybody, because some families have managed to get their way through and even become stronger as a unit. But many families, especially due to financial pressures, separations, you know, having to go away to work further away and leaves the family, there's all of these variations that have put real pressure on the family. The children being at home all of the time and not even having like clubs and parks and stuff to go to. There's a lot of pressure. And so this has also had this impact on what used to be your pure bliss, your pure alignment, your focus, your drive. Everything is turned upside down. Everything is inverted. And I'm not speaking all of this out to throw salt in any wounds. I'm speaking it out because sometimes you need somebody, anybody, to just hear them recognize it, to give it recognition, to give it space and time to be spoken out. That's the first point of call in a lot of ways for the start of transmuting that energy and configuring how you can use it and work with it to transmute it into something more positive, into something that is going to drive you forward rather than anchor you back. There's a lot of things that, and I know a lot of people who resonate with this reading aren't going to want to hear it. There was a lot of warning signs in a lot of our individual lives, whether that was psychically, whether that was messages through other people, or just, writing on the wall. There was a lot of warning for a lot of people individually to get their life right, to separate from partners, or to become more solid partners. Like we do, we ignore the warnings, we ignore the things with, move businesses, transition into a different type of business. All of those warnings and things that were coming, we either didn't land, or we just chose to ignore them because maybe it was the fear of having your world turned upside down, having your world look so different, that stopped you from making those decisions when you knew you had to, or when you knew you were supposed to. And there's some people that can listen to this that would totally resonate with. You can think back to that event, that time, or those events that you knew were calling you to change things up. And for those people that resonate with this, there's this feeling of disappointment, and that's causing unnecessary pain. That's like punishing yourself. It's not productive. It's not going to do anything that is good. It's not going to drive you forward by punishing yourself in this way with this energy. That's going to hold you back. And so you need to release yourself from that. If this resonates with you, release yourself from that. Release yourself from that right now. Just release from that right now. Because it's not productive to you going forward and attaining new and better things, more, not even better, but more aligned things for everybody involved, or everything involved. So we've got where there's obstacles right now, where you're just looking and focusing on how the world has turned upside down, or how your individual world has really turned upside down during this time. There's this feeling of lack, and for some of you it's financially, for others it's just feeling outside of, with the Five of Pentacles, outside of the group, outside of your family unit, outside of that used to feel like it was yours. Outside of your abundance, so to speak, especially in family units, feeling like the outsider. And this gives you a lack mentality. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Some of you, with what I've just said previously, also with the other cards, some of you might be swaying a little bit too much into the danger zone of victimhood. And that's not to take away from anything that I've said. It angers me that people have been put in these positions that were doing nothing but trying to attain and live life by the greed and the power structure that we've been living under for too long. So that's not to take away from any of that. But what it is to say is that we have to be real careful to not fall into yet another trap of theirs, whether it's individuals around us or the so-called powers that be, or indeed both. We have to be real careful not to fall into the next trap that is laid, which is victimhood, because that is another trap that we're being led into. They want us to feel that way. They want us, and that's a lot of individuals around us in our lives, and it is from the so-called powers that be. They want us in that, what do you call those fenced off areas? I'll say these things as if you can answer back in real time. What do you call those fenced off areas where you drive cattle into them? You know, the sheepdogs, they drive the sheep into like one fence, they have competitions, don't they, with sheepdogs, where I don't know, they have them in the UK where the sheepdog drives the cattle from one area into another fenced area and then drives it into another, and it's to show off the capability of the shepherd and the sheepdog. They want us in that certain place, whatever you call that fenced off place. That's it, let's label it victimhoodville. Victimhoodville. Well, they want us in Victimhoodville, and nobody wants to be in Victimhoodville. Well, that's a lie. Some people do, but none of us want to be in Victimhoodville because there's no power in that. There's this false sense of power, but there's no power in that will feed your spirit with anything that is nourishing. And so this is the Five of Pentacles, where we don't want to veer off into that. But for some of you, there's real agony today. There's real pain today. For some of you, this is a feeling for empaths in particular. The Three of Swords is clarifying this Five of Pentacles. So for empaths in particular, you're picking up on the collective pain. You're picking up on a lot of people's dismay over their physical, over the things, the businesses, the homes that they're losing. And that is difficult as an empath. And again, you can feel that, but make sure you're practicing your practice and you're transmuting that and allowing that to flow through you rather than stagnate in you, because that is damaging. And all empaths should be getting real good now at doing that and not letting other people's pain stagnate within you. Allow it to flow through, recognize it, pick up the energetic imprint, and you can help the person, but don't hold on to it. For some empaths, I really do need to give the warning of not to allow. There's a lot of these sheep in Victimhoodsville that really do enjoy the empath journey. They really do enjoy watching their pain and going into somebody else, and they really do enjoy. You get these people, don't you, as empaths, where you get these people who just want to phone you up and they never want to take your advice. They never want you to meditate with them. They never want you to work with them. They never want you to give solutions. You could offer to pay off their home. You could offer to give them a business, and they wouldn't want that. They just want to phone and pull you into Victimhoodsville and watch the energy transfer of their pain, their perceived whinge, their perceived gripe going into you and giving you a literal physical gripey tummy. There's people like that, and we've got to be real, especially in the spiritual community, that happens. There's spirit everywhere. So we've got that, but there's also these people who have this pain and it's heartache. There's an ending to something, or there's a perceived ending, or there is this energy of, it's coming. You know that you've done all that you can do and this ending is coming. A lot of it is to deal with family circles, friendship groups, businesses. There's this perceived end, and you feel like you're still in it. You'd still be classed as being a part of this group, this family structure, but you feel outside of it. Everything about it, you should feel like the head of the table in a lot of cases, but actually you feel like a stranger in your own home, it feels like. And this is causing real pain, and it feels like a lot of past pains are accumulating. Now, what we do real good as humans, when we're not being conscious of it, when we're not being observant of it, is that we save up pain. And because we either haven't been taught or haven't had time or haven't had the capabilities to transmute the pain there and then at the time and really truly let go of it, because we haven't been able to truly let go of judgments of others and whatnot, we build it up, we save it up like a bank, and then all of a sudden the next cataclysm in your life happens, and it's not just dealing with the here and now, it's dealing with like, all right, okay, you want your deposit, so you just deposit all of that pain that hasn't been worked on and transmuted and healed into the present moment, into the genuine present pain or wound. And so that makes it so difficult to swim through. That makes it so difficult to actually see what you have to fix, to see which way you need to go forward with this Seven of Pentacles in reverse, this Two of Wands in reverse, and Ten of Cups in reverse. It speaks of, you know, because it's all jumbled up and mumbled up with years and years worth of different gripes, different pains, different wounds, different unhealed things that have happened in your life. It's like, okay, you can't figure out what you're dealing with. It's like somebody giving you the accounts for like 6-7 years of a business and saying, yeah, I didn't date them, I just kept throwing them in this box. There you go. And emptying the box out on the table and saying, yeah, sort it out by, you know, yesterday. Sort that out, please. Like it all dated and boxed up and put away, and not going to happen. And so we find that, you know, this is where it gets real difficult. And sometimes it's like out of all of the wounds and the pains and the experiences that you've been through, ironically, usually it's the least perceived anyway, pain or wound. This is the smallest straw that breaks the camel's back. And this is where there's this ability here and this opportunity, although it doesn't feel like it for those people that this resonates with. There's a real ability to just clear that box, date, you know, identify and put a strike through each wound, each experience that has gotten you to this point, to be able to really truly, I don't know what the heck that was on the screen. Oh, it's got shivers. So to be able to really truly empty your box of all of that, to start with a true clean slate. And so I know it doesn't feel like it, but for a lot of you, this opportunity is real strong today to really start that process. So we've got as the next card, because I know went on for ages there, the Six of Pentacles. Now, if you can start this process and get yourself out of this feeling like the outsider, feeling like, and that's not to say that you have to go back to what's not working or what you know you have to leave. But if you can get to that point, this Six of Pentacles comes out, and this is where, you know, the energy feedback starts immediately. Even if you can't see it and perceive it yet, it starts immediately. Where there is this generosity from somewhere, this balance, where there is lack, there is balance somewhere for you to be able to take it up and use it. And so this is where there's this generosity, these physical acts of kindness that can happen for a lot of you today. My intent to speak over the card and the energy of this card is that everybody who is in this energy today that I've been describing has access to, without even trying, with no doubt, this access to this generosity, this support, this time that they need from another source. To have this payback in some way or another. I don't care which way it is, and neither should you. That you know that it's just a universal energy of balance. It's creating balance again in your life with this abundance, this generosity, this something that can start up something new for you in whatever direction you need it. And that's my intent for all of you that have resonated with this thus far. On the clarifying card for this, we have the Six of Coins in reverse. Now, I need to say that some people out there, and this is why I put such strong intent out there for the first Six of Coins, because there's some people out there, just as much as some people love Victimhoodsville, whatever we're calling that fenced off area that the sheepdog put the sheep into, there are other people who, let's say, Tyrannyville. They love to give and then tell everybody about what they've given. They love to give and constantly video it on their phone. They love to, you know, it's like, and I realize it's got to get out there, and there are some feel-good videos that are important to get out there, but it's a bit like, I stick quotes here, there, and everywhere. You know, my daughter sticks books and things and umbrellas or hands them out to people as we're walking by. We don't video it. We don't need to video it. One, I don't want to diminish any kind of divinity that that person has that I'm giving something to. I don't want to make them feel like they're in a position that they've got to accept that lens, you know, watching them. If they want what they very, very dearly need. I don't need that feedback. But there are people like that will do this because they know that they're going to milk the cow dry for the wonderful attributes people will say that they have, and the ego trip, right? And so this is where I want you to be able to, if you've resonated with this reading, look outside of those sources that have given to you in the past and then never let you forget it. There are some of you that have had people give to you in the past, and you've even tried to pay them back because you were sick of hearing about it, and they wouldn't let you. Yet the way that they talk, you would think that they would want to be paid back yesterday. It's because they want this ego trip, but they want it to be continuous. They want to get their money's worth. So they don't want you to pay it back. They don't want you to do that. They want to be able to tell people, yes, so-and-so never paid me a penny back. It's that energy. And so I want you to be able to rely on your alchemist self to draw that generosity and that true reciprocity, that true appreciation and balance in the scales from universal energies, from strangers that you don't even know and you won't even see again, from claiming it back one way or the other. I don't even care if it's on a scratch card. You're claiming it from a source outside of something that will hold you to ransom in Tyrannyville. So you're getting passed from pillar to post, Victimsville to Tyrannyville. You know, like the sheepdog just keeps putting you one and the other, one and the other. It's exhausting and it's not good enough, and you don't need to accept this. You can draw your own source here. What do you need to do? What do you need to do that? So for who this has resonated with, what do they need to do? Where do they need to focus their attention? Do that, to draw that balance in, away from Tyrannyville. Queen of Cups. Okay. So it's about getting in your intuition, getting in your flow, moving and using this time of pain to really not be afraid to truly feel your way through these pains, these wounds, and using your intuition. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a tyrannical duck, and you don't need to accept that. Have faith in your psychic, intuitive abilities to, just like the waves being drawn into the land, you to draw in what you need from universal energies. You don't need to go back to this source. So that's the reading. There's clarity on the bottom of the deck. That's the reading for the 25th of February 2021. It was a difficult one. It's difficult because I've had to transmute energies all the way through this, because, you know, I'm a very protective person. to a fault, you know, that I've been in dangerous situations because I can't help but protect. And, you know, I've had to learn some wisdom in those situations, but, you know, still it's there. And so I've had to transmute the energy of it. This angers me, but for whatever reason, we're going through it. And for whatever complacencies we had to get here, we had them. And so now it's about finding a strong route out into situations that we want to see, into realities that we want to create, truly. And so, and you know, at least now when we do that, we've got a huge contrast to what we never want to go back to. We've got great stories to tell. We've got unbelievable testimony of the tyrants, you know, themselves. We've got, you know, movies and movies from the truther community potentially to put out there, you know, from the ridiculousness of the last couple of years in particular. We've got we have the opportunity to have the contrast at the very least, and that's a good least. And so we are here, and it's about finding the strong, focused way to where we want to be truly. And, you know, let those who want to stay in Victimsville, stay there. Let the ones who want to stay in Tyrannyville, stay there. Because if we can get the most of us to move away from both, then they're going to eat each other alive. They can energy feed off each other as much as they like from those two places. So this is where we are, and this is very much where you are individually if this reading resonated with you today, about recognizing and having the true contrast of what you don't want anymore, and finding a focus and an intent that nobody can shake into something that you do want, into something that you do want to see and create and feel and be. And this is your opportunity today. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. And for those who this resonated with, you know, it's a difficult day, but a day that you can have reach great potentials and reach great strengths and expansions and growths, hugely so. And so you do that today if that's you. Much love. Stay balanced and stay whole. Hook up for a personal reading at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can get me at truedivine44 on Facebook. Mwah. I love you all.